it was clear to me that he don't love you. And then you had the audacity to be on your hands and knees begging him to stay? Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Dacia's Digest. The topic for today is going to be relationship issues. Also, in a couple of videos prior to this, I mentioned that it's my birthday month, and I wanted you guys to guess how old I was. So a few of you were actually right on the money. I am 33. Well, I will be in like a week. 33 years old. Woohoo! Woohoo! Now, some of y'all's guesses was a little bit high, and it's got me thinking maybe I need to up my skincare routine. I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning was that went into that, but you know what? It's okay. That was your opinion. So yeah, all of the links will be included in the description. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first story, 24 female and 24 male, 9-year relationship. Man left me to marry a Vietnamese woman for $60,000. What the F is going on? That's interesting. I was with the man for 9 years before he left me for a Vietnamese woman for money. We lived with each other for about 5 years, and we were happy for the most part until I had to work 12-hour days and started to give less two-piece spices. I still showed him love with cuddles, kisses, and kind gestures. I kept the apartment clean as he never really cleaned or wanted to or even knew how, even when I tried to teach him. He only worked a 7-hour job, but always insisted I work 2 jobs, so I was exhausted trying to keep us afloat. Girl, he did you a favor. This sounds like hell. He got you working 2 jobs and cleaning the house and refuses to learn how? This sounds like a nightmare, actually. She said I wanted a future for us, but he was a chronic spender. He said he had to go on a holiday to Vietnam, but I saw texts of his father organizing a Vietnamese arranged marriage, and my ex would be paid $60,000. He got back from his holiday and walked through the door saying he didn't love me anymore and hasn't for a year. That was very clear. Any man that is willing to allow you to work 2 jobs, work 12-hour days while they work only 7-hour shifts, but insist that you be the one to have 2 jobs and also clean up and take care of the household. Yeah, it was clear to me that he don't love you. But anyways, he said he didn't love me anymore, hasn't for a year. He seemed upset, but looked like he was forced by his father, but was still horrible towards me. Saw me cry on my hands and knees begging him to stay because I loved him so much, but he barely looked at me or even comforted me. Now, sis, this is not, I want better for you. Ain't no way I'ma be on my hands and knees literally begging a man to be with me in any situation, but especially not a man that is forcing me to work 2 jobs because he don't want to pull his own weight. At least he could do some more at home, learn how to clean. He didn't even want to do that. And then he throwing it all away for $60K, a measly $60K. That $60K is going to be gone in a year. The man is down bad. He's a buster. And unfortunately, it looks like y'all got together super young. 9-year relationship. That means y'all got together when y'all was 15. The statistics show, from the different stories we've read, that those relationships tend to not fare well over time. He sounds like he has no backbone. He sounds like he don't know how to communicate. He sounds lazy. He sounds like a bum. He don't want to do anything above he's not even doing average. He's like below average right now with what you laid out here. And then you had the audacity to be on your hands and knees begging him to stay. But I get it. Y'all got together when y'all was 15. Likely that was probably one of your, if not your first boyfriend. You haven't had much experience being with anyone else. So I get it. But let's just let this be a lesson. That is not your portion. I can assure you. Working 12-hour days and then, no, that's not your portion, sis. Anyway, after she was on her knees begging to stay because I loved him so much, but he barely looked at me or even comforted me. I didn't even get a hug goodbye. I packed my things and moved back home after two hours of begging and crying. Ain't no way. I feel so horrible and I can't find anywhere where someone has had this happen to them. I need some advice because I feel so unloved and degraded because I was left for money. Now, I do feel for her with that part. I mean, regardless of how crazy it sounds, they were together for 9 years, almost a decade, and just out the blue, he up and leaves for $60K. Like, if someone is willing to leave me for $60K, yeah, that would be pretty hurtful. Someone who I was with for 9 years, so I feel for her. At the same time, stand up, sis. This actually is a blessing in disguise. I'm actually happy for you. You don't see it yet, but I'm happy for you. It's gonna hurt for a little minute, but when you get on the other side of it, you will be so much better. I know that's probably not helpful for you right now, but when you look back on this, you're gonna see, wow, I dodged a bullet. Somebody said this guy is a loser and a user. You might not realize it yet, but you're going to be so much better off without him in your life. Now you can find a real partner. Literally what I just said. Someone says, why does that have anything to do with you? He made a bad moral choice. That's on him. Another person, well, getting paid to marry someone is definitely a thing in this economy, but to be serious, yeah, he clearly didn't really love you nor respect you. A man that truly loves his partner would not abuse you like he did. Honestly, it sounds like he did you a huge favor. You were like his slave, not an equal partner that he respected or cared about. Someone else, trash taking itself out. You guys weren't married, just block his ass. He's about to learn a lot about the visa process, and $60K ain't gonna cover it. That's what I'm saying. Like, $60K really is not, in the grand scheme of things, and especially in this economy, $60K not gonna take you that far. That $60K is gonna be eaten up within a year, maybe even 6 months. Oh wow, it looks like perhaps this happened a while prior to her post because she replied to someone's comment. So their comment was, have you been divorced yet? Surely you'll get half of the $60K and laugh on the way to the bank. Joke's on him. He's going to run out of that $30K in the divorce and K-1 visa way before she gets to the US, and even longer before she gets a green card to work 2 jobs to support him like you did. By that time, you'll be surrounded by better people and laughing at what a loser you left behind. And then OP responded, funny thing was, he never married me, said we were too young, took him 4 years, but he married her in 8 months or less. And then she also said she moved to AUS, which I'm assuming is Australia. Yeah, don't let nobody just string you along, child. Listen, people know, okay? People know who they want to be with. People know what they feel. And if it's not like 9 years and then y'all not even engaged, 9 years, but then he moves on to the next girl and is married within 8 months. The signs were there. I would never be with someone for 9 years. If I desired to be married, I would never be with someone for 9 years and not be engaged. Shoot, 3 years is pushing it, I feel like. So, but hey, to each their own. The next story, I asked our neighbor to zip up my dress. Husband, 46 male, not talking to me anymore. This caused a huge fight and I need some perspective. We were getting ready to go to a wedding. I need to wear this classic bandeau black dress. It's not a sexy dress, it's floor length and it flares out from the waist if that matters. I asked my husband to help me zip it up and he tries but fails. We keep trying for 15 minutes but we'll be late and the kids are getting irritable and I really don't want them to stain their clothing before we get there. We managed to zip the dress a little, so there's a few inches long gap from my waist to the bra strap band of the dress. I propose to ask if the neighbor upstairs can come help us. He's very friendly and he's the one I have the most contact with because he has lended/asked for chargers, sugar, etc. We have other neighbors, but I pretty much never interact with them. My husband says you can't ask a male neighbor something like that because it's too personal. I point out that you can't see anything and that the 3 of us will manage to zip it up in seconds. He says it's unfathomable to him I even think of something like that. I'm so confused. We keep fumbling around to no avail, and I end up changing into something else. It's been 3 hours and he won't talk to me over this, and I'm now wearing a dress that I didn't want to wear. And yes, we are currently at that wedding. Wait a minute. So she didn't even ask the neighbor? She just proposed that she ask the neighbor and he's upset about that? Hold on, my husband? Yeah, we keep fumbling around to no avail. I end up changing. This fool here, sensitive, like he acted like she asked him for a 3-piece spicy. She just trying to get the dress on. According to her, you can't see anything. She's friendly with the neighbor. Obviously, you're not able to help her get the dress up. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Maybe I'm not thinking through this like enough, but just from what I'm reading, I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially not to be having an attitude and then not speaking to her for the rest of the evening. And then the fact that she didn't even go, she just proposed like, oh, maybe so-and-so can help us. Someone said, these comments are crazy. It doesn't sound like she even asked the neighbor. It sounds like she suggested asking the neighbor, but ultimately didn't. And he's still not speaking to her. She wasn't even suggesting going alone. She wanted her husband with her. Whether or not the dress fit isn't relevant, but that wasn't his argument. He sounds like a petulant child with a fragile ego, and I'm annoyed on OP's behalf. That's what I'm saying. Like, what did he think was, it's not like she wanted to go up there alone. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go see the neighbor real quick so he can help me with my dress, wink, wink. Like, no, y'all both go up there. Hey, bro, we need a little help. I can understand it being maybe slightly awkward, like the request, but to be mad over this doesn't seem appropriate. Someone said, yeah, I understand him being hurt at the suggestion that somehow the neighbor will do what he can't, but throwing a tantrum that lasts the rest of the day, that's some, quote, I pray this type of love never finds me, end quote, type behavior. The dress being too small is relevant because if they keep yanking, all that's gonna happen is ripping the dress. OP responded, what's crazy is that the dress was tailored to my measurements and I wore it before. Yeah, sometimes, I mean, I have a pair of pants that's like that. Like literally me and one of my friends, we were trying to get the zipper up and it's like really, really stretchy pants. They fit, but like the zipper mechanism just was not working. It just was not working. Some clothes are just like that. Somebody said, you asked another man to save you because your husband couldn't. Of course he's gonna be mad. He feels you see him as inferior. I'm not saying it's right, just pointing out the obvious. Like over zipping up a dress, save you? Come on now. The word choice there was a bit far-fetched. And then someone responded, I've been the husband on that end. Yes, it's dumb caveman brain, but also, yes, those feelings are valid because ooga booga. Edit, since apparently not including this irritated some folks, yes, he is also responsible for his behavior and how he deals with his emotions. You have to be able to recognize when it's caveman brain. It's a skill that any man can learn. And apparently there's a lot of insecure people in the comments because people keep commenting about the comments. But yeah, let's just go to the next one. My 24 female partner, 24 male, doesn't do things unless I specifically ask him to. It's driving me insane. And you know what? That title will be changed to my ex-partner because I'm not finna do that for the rest of my life. Oh, and they have 2 kids. Okay, so she says, we have 2 children, daughter who will be 2 in January and a 3-month-old boy. We've been together for 6 years. Again, young relationship. They got together since they was 18, had kids at 21. Her daughter will be 2, or had kids at 22-ish. That's pretty young. She said, he works a lot, so I really don't mind doing most things around the house and our children. He has 2 main things he has kind of picked himself, which is the trash and the cleaning up of the kitchen most of the time. He does this when I'm bathing or getting the children ready for bed if he's home. If he's not home, I do it. As I've stated, I do not mind doing mostly everything, but I would like some help. It's full on with 2 children under 2. I do the dinner, the housework, getting the kids sorted, but the issue is he won't just do things himself. I have to ask him to do baby's nappy if I'm busy doing something else. He won't just do it. I ask when he's home as he works a lot, 12-hour shifts, but does have a few days off in between. I have to ask if he can make our daughter something to eat if I'm too busy breastfeeding the baby and can't do it myself. He won't just think, oh, it's lunchtime, she's gonna be hungry. It's getting to the point that I need to ask him to do pretty much anything. I have spoken to him about it, but he says it's not true, and he does do things he needs to do. I don't know if he has depression, because he does show signs of it sometimes, but he says he feels fine. To be honest, I just think it's a case of he works, he thinks he should chill out for the days he is off work, which is fine, but not all the time and not every single hour of the day. Any advice to try and get him to do more without me nagging at him? I hate asking him to do stuff as I feel like I'm going on at him, but I need some help. There's so much I need to do in the day. When he's off work, I would like some more help. I've told him and we've had conversations, but I don't really know what to do next. This sounds like something for a therapist. This sounds like more complicated than we can even try to broach in a Reddit comment section. Like, it sounds a bit layered. It sounds like there's some structure that needs to be put into place, but I couldn't even begin to try and figure out exactly what that looks like for y'all's house. Because it sounds like probably in his mind, he's like, oh yeah, I go to work. That's my main thing. I go to work, I'll take out the trash, and I'll clean the kitchen. She takes care of the baby and does everything else. Like, in his mind, he's not really thinking to ask because he doesn't really see that as his part of his like job description, I suppose. So yeah, I think some structure needs to be put into place. Something. But whatever that something is, I would consult a therapist. I would consult a couples therapist and see if they can help you get to the root of it. Because it sounds more than just like, this is your role, this is his role. It sounds more complicated. Oh, there was more to that. She said another issue is he doesn't spend too much time with the children. He'd rather just be doing something else. I'm either holding the baby or he's on his chair. My partner will hold him if I ask him to, which I don't think is right. I do think he's suffering with something, but I can't force him to get help. Okay. Yeah. I mean, some people really actually want to be parents and some people just want babies. It sounds like he just wanted babies. The babies are here. And that kind of is like the end of it. People who want to be parents are the type of people who are kind of more involved. Again, my very uneducated, like single child free opinion, judging from just what I read here, that's what it is seeming like to me. And again, I would like to reiterate, I think a therapist would be the best option here. So y'all can kind of talk through a lot of that. Some relevant comments. Someone said, we had this fight early on and it was resolved with lists. Write down a schedule of your day and have him write down his. Don't be surprised if he's shocked at the length of your list. Early on, I swear my husband thought the groceries just appeared in the house. It somehow never occurred to him that I ran errands with the kids during the day. So we had our lists and then we broke down who was responsible for what. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it sounds like y'all need some structure. Someone else said, read and get him to read the articles. She divorced me because I left dishes by the sink and I do not help my wife. Also the comic, you should have asked. Parenting/housework is the responsibility of both parents. When one is at work and one at home, the one at home does it. When they're both home, they both do it. It's not your job and he helps. What kind of functioning adult has to be asked to change a baby? Parenting is full-time, essentially 24/7. He doesn't get a pass because he's worked that day. Once in a while, take yourself off to a spa, a movie, grab lunch, whatever. Get a few hours out of the house for yourself and leave him with the kids. A, it will restore your sanity a little bit, and B, it'll force him into action, understanding what you do, if nothing else. This is unsustainable for a relationship and is a recipe for major resentment unless he steps up and does his share. I do agree with that. And that is a good idea. Step out the house, because it's almost as if he know you there. He know you're going to take care of it, so shoot. Why even, but if you leave, then it's like, wait a minute. What do I do here? You got to do something. Hopefully he steps up to the plate. Doesn't have the baby sitting in a dirty diaper, but I've heard worse. Anyway, OP did respond and said, thanks, I'll try and get him to read those articles. That's what I hate the most. He won't just get up and change the baby. Or if I'm changing the baby and he's been sick and I need new clothes, he won't just get me clothes for the baby when he can clearly see I need them. I have to ask. I'm okay with not going out for a bit as I'm breastfeeding. He won't take a bottle. I've tried expressing. So the most I can leave baby is about an hour. That hour is me going to get some stuff from the store, but with my daughter with me. I'm never actually alone to do anything, to be honest. I do find myself really annoyed sometimes, and I do agree that I will find myself resenting him. I would too. Like, boy, if you don't get your ass up, you see me over here struggling, then I gotta ask you every time I need help with something. Update 2 months later. Hey everyone, I wrote this post just over 2 months ago, and I got a lot of advice and help and thought I should do an update. I took a lot of your advice. I spoke to him about it again and said we need to come up with a solution because I couldn't go on with such little help anymore. We wrote a list as someone had suggested, and I wrote what I do and he wrote what he did. My list was much bigger than his, and he said he didn't realize how unequal the lists were, and he thought we were doing pretty much the same. He thanked me for everything I did and said he'd change. We take turns with the diaper changes and the story times, etc., and it's working very well. Now we have certain things we both need to get done. He will do bath time with the kids on the nights that he's home, so he gets to spend more one-on-one time. He'll read stories and is being much more involved. I still do a lot, which I'm fine with, the things stay-at-home parents do, but I want to stay home with the kids and do the majority, as I feel that's what I'm happiest with doing. I'm just appreciative of the help he's now giving me. I don't feel alone anymore. I think with a new baby and a toddler and working full time, it was getting a bit on top of him, but we communicate better, and when he's feeling overwhelmed, I'll do more and vice versa. I do think I have to ask him some things still, but I feel that only happens when we have had a bit of a busy or hard day. But we have more of an understanding of one another now. We also read the articles commenters recommended, and that is definitely in the back of our mind. I do feel I got into the habit of doing things myself and would bathe and read, etc., without really giving him that time, and now I'm encouraging him even more to do things one-on-one with the kids. As I was always there when he was spending time with them, I'm trying to make it where he actually gets alone time with them as well. I think that was making him feel like a secondary parent, if that makes sense. He has a much better bond with the kids now, and we're all so much happier as a family and us as a couple. I might have missed things, so if you want to know anything else, I'll answer. I know this isn't the most amazing update, and it's just a case of communicating better, but you've all helped so much, and I'm very appreciative. I love Reddit. Okay, well, period. The comment section was able to help her after all. That was a good idea, doing the list, because sometimes, people just don't know what they don't know, for real. If you're not there, like how was he to know exactly how much you have to do, during the day, especially when he has his own day that he's got going on. Yeah, obviously he has an idea, you're home with the kids, you're taking care of the house, but exactly what does that mean? Exactly what does that look like? So to write it out, that was a great idea. And they were able to talk it over and figure it out, it looks like. All right, next story. Me, 24. Why are all these people 24? Wait a minute. 24. This one wasn't 24. But literally 3 of the 4 stories that I am reading or have read, the people are 24. I don't know what that's about. But me, 24 female, with my boyfriend, 28 male. He flipped out when I stayed over at my friend's, 24 female, during a girls' night in. Interesting. Hey Reddit, me and Gavin have been together for 8 months now, so barely any time. We met because he lives in the same building as my best friend, Tammy. They're 10 floors apart. There was an instant connection, and he's honestly the sweetest, most thoughtful person I've ever dated, which makes the following problem so confusing to me. Tammy and I went to university together and have a lot of mutual friends. As Tammy has an extra bedroom in her condo, as well as a sizable pull-out couch, her pad is the go-to place for our visiting friends to stay. Our two other best friends live a few hours away by train, so every few months since graduation, they've come down to the city and we have a girls' night. We've done weekend trips for special occasions, but as we're all fairly busy, I get to see them maybe 3 times a year. We do typical things that we did when we were teenagers. Talk about boys, periods, have pizza eating contests, face masks, etc. We usually pass out from food comas early in the morning and make brunch when we wake up. It's a ton of fun and reminds me of our university days. The first time I had a girls' night, Gavin and I had just reached 3 months of dating. I shared Tammy's guest room with my friend and we went about our normal routine. Gavin asked how my night was. I said it was great. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Last weekend, I had another girls' night and stayed over again, like usual. When I woke up in the morning, I had a text from Gavin that asked why I didn't come home with a bunch of question marks. After our friends left, I went upstairs to talk to Gavin and he seemed super pissed. Icily, he said he hoped I had a good time with my friends and if I wanted space from him, I should just tell him. I asked what he was going on about and he just had this weird outburst about how it's immature of me to have a little girl sleepover with my friends and that as my boyfriend, he was supposed to come first. Boy, the mask is slipping. Okay, 8 months you say? He couldn't hold on much longer. He tried and he kept it up for a long time. But come on now, that's crazy. Maybe I wonder if they had an argument prior to her going over there or something like that. Something happened. Maybe he cheated. Maybe he feels insecure for some reason. But like, it's not like this is nothing new. 3 months into the relationship, she had a sleepover with her friends. This is 4 or 5 months later, she's doing the same thing that she did before in the same building. Like, if you thought she was really doing something nefarious or something like that, why would she be in the same building doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously she's not doing nothing crazy. So his reaction, I just don't get it. There's something else that is not being said. My boyfriend is supposed to come first. Boy, you done lost your mind. She said, I asked him why it was such a big deal if I wanted to stay at Tammy's for the night, and he just kind of snapped that if I care about him, I would have come home to him, and that I was picking my friends over him. Yeah, that's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. Don't let no person that you're in a relationship with try to tell you, oh, I come first, or, oh, yeah, like basically trying to pit your friends against them. It never gave that. It never gave that. So calm down, Gavin. She with you every day. She can't have one night with her friends. So she continues, he said that he thought that last time maybe I got too drunk to come upstairs to be with him. And that was all right. But this time was unacceptable. I told him before that I would be staying at Tammy's, but he said he didn't think I was serious. Am I the only one not seeing the big deal here? I spend 3 to 4 nights at his place a week and see my friends once every few months. Am I overreacting? Is he? Help me, Reddit. He hasn't brought it up since, but I can tell he's still annoyed. Sis, this is a huge red flag. He's jealous of your friends. Y'all haven't even been together a year. Sounds like I said, he kept up a mask for as long as he could, but the mask is cracking. It's 8 months in. He said, I can't do it no longer. Someone said the fact that he was okay with it at 3 months, but flipped his shit now is a red flag to me. You're the frog in the pot. He just turned on the heat. Slowly escalating, controlling behavior. Plus, he punished you for wanting to have a real discussion about it. He knew he was being irrational, so he just got angry and went straight for the manipulation, saying, if I cared about him, I would have come home to him, and that I was picking my friends over him. It's not like he expressed any desire for you to come home before you left, and you've stayed over at her place before without issue. He's using his sudden anger to condition you to the behavior he wants. Force the subject. If he refuses to discuss, then you have a good idea of how he'll handle things in the future. I agree. Don't let it go. Get to the bottom of it, because I've learned, even me, I've had somebody question me And I even had to think, like, why was I upset about that? Like, what was it about it that I was angry? And then vice versa, if things happen, I'm questioning someone, but instead of just, I'll just let it go. No, let's get to the root of it. Let's talk about it right now. Actually, let's get to the bottom of it. What was going on in your head? And once people get to, if they're trying to brush it off and like, let's just forget about it, whatever, that'll tell you all you need to know. Well, it might not tell you all you need to know, but it'll lead you in the right direction. And someone said, and they don't even live together. I can barely see his logic then, although still wrong, but expecting her to spend the night when she's made plans to be with her friends is ridiculous. This dude is bad news. I'm back at several hours later. I ended up getting a phone call and then I ate and got distracted. But someone else, girl, run. No. This is exactly how my abusive relationship started. Exactly. I used to have to ask 2 weeks in advance for permission to see my girlfriends, who I rarely saw. It will only get worse. So much worse. Please save yourself while you can, because I couldn't. Yeah, I agree. This does sound like the beginning of an abusive relationship, honestly. It's quite alarming. So 10 days later, she said, "Hi, everyone. Just wanted to provide an update for everyone who thoughtfully commented and messaged me about my previous post. I read each and every one and am grateful for everyone who offered their advice and shared similar stories. Reading all of your comments really helped to open my eyes. Gavin's behavior was controlling and immature, and the way he shut down my attempt to have a discussion with him is not promising. This is our first actual argument, and I don't like the side that he shows when he feels he's in a disagreement. For days after the sleepover, he was very cold and unaffectionate, which I see now is very manipulative." Exactly. I decided to give him one more chance and sat him down for a discussion about what happened that weekend and why he was so bothered by it. Honestly, because what is the problem, really? I asked him politely but firmly why he had such a problem with me hanging out overnight with my college friends and what he expected me to do in the future when we planned another girls' weekend. He got very quiet and said that he didn't want to talk about it and that I should just drop the subject. I told him that I wanted to get to the root of this issue, as it obviously upset him and frustrated me since I didn't think I did anything wrong. Good. Keep pushing, because we need to know exactly what is the issue. And if you can't articulate what the issue actually is, that means there probably really isn't one. She said he finally said that he thought that since we're in a serious relationship, if I'm in close enough proximity to come sleep with him, I should do it as he's my partner and therefore my priority. He repeated that last bit a few times and then added that he didn't get why I wanted to spend so much time with my friends anyway. Shouldn't he be enough? Red flag. That really put things into perspective for me. I ended up telling him that while he was very important to me, he wasn't the only person in the world I wanted to spend time with, and I did not appreciate being policed about how I spend my time with him. And if he wasn't all right with that, then maybe it was best we go our separate ways. Reddit, he freaking exploded. He literally leapt up from his chair and started yelling about how he knew this was going to happen, how those bitches were poisoning me against him all along, and all of this other nonsense. I got the heck out of there as fast as possible. I've never seen a turnaround like that before, and it was terrifying. I've already blocked and deleted him off of social media and let Tammy know what happened. Since he said some pretty awful things about my friends and they live in the same building, I just wanted to warn her just in case he does something insane, like go to her apartment to scream at her. He doesn't know her apartment number, just that she lives a few floors below him. I feel horrible that I might have dragged her into this. She's staying at her boyfriend's for a few days, and my roommate's boyfriend will be staying at our place for the next week, just in case. Thanks to everyone for helping me out before the relationship progresses any further. We had been talking about getting a place together after our anniversary, which gives me chills to think about now. The fact that he was able to hide his true colors for that long, though, like typically you can start to see the cracks within in my experience. Within like the first 6 months, you can kind of start to see if somebody is really hiding who they are. You could see it, within that first like 6 months. Things start not adding up. But the fact that they've been dating for 8 months and he was able to hide it that long, that is scary. And this is why you gotta wait to do some things. Like, I'm really glad that she didn't move in with him too soon. They were gonna wait a year. I think at a year mark, now not saying that it's not possible because some people are really just devilish. But at a year, like, for most people, you can see if there's discrepancies as far as behavior is concerned. Within a year, you should be able to see. That's crazy. I'm glad she got out of there though, child. This was all the way in 2016, and she has no other posts or anything after that. Last story. Am I overreacting to my boyfriend's texts about us going to dinner for my best friend? For context, I, female 23, asked my boyfriend, male 28, of 3 years, if he would like to come to one of my best friends, female 23, birthday dinner. My best friend had asked if he would like to come to dinner with us, and I had even asked if he wants to come previously, but he said that I threw it at him. I can understand going out to dinner that late is not desirable, but it was because friend 2, male 22, doesn't get off work until late. I can also understand the fact that the location was changed a couple of times. This was due to some places being out of budget, and that is a bit annoying. This happens every single time my friends or even I try to invite him out with us. He gets upset at how far away things are, how we don't think like he does, and how late we want to be out. This is my best friend's birthday dinner. I want to be there for her, and if I have to stay late, that's fine. Yes, I don't really want to be out that late, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make because I love my friend. I'm just so upset and annoyed because this happens often where I tell him he doesn't have to go to something because he's complaining about it. Then he gets upset, proceeds to say that he doesn't like how I'm talking to him, and then says that I don't want him there. I love my boyfriend. He's a good guy that cares a lot about me. But when things like this happen, I just get so miserable and think, why am I putting up with this? Am I overreacting with how I feel? Not overreacting, sis. This is also sounding a bit manipulative. This is sounding almost like the last one a little bit. Because he's kind of making it, kind of saying in a roundabout way, like, I don't want you to go. Or kind of like making it so that you'll feel uncomfortable with going. Or like a constructive cancellation. I don't know how to phrase it, but it's like he's providing all these obstacles and problems as far as the dinner is concerned, almost so that you'll be like, okay, like whatever, like I just won't go, like you're right. I don't know, that's what it's giving. But either way, it's a red flag because like she said, they're inviting you out of a courtesy. If you think that it's too far, if you think that it's too late, if you think that the venue has been changed too much, just stay home. It's really quite simple. But rather than do that, you want to complain. Oh, you don't want me to come. Oh, it's just too late. Oh, I just don't go. They just invited you to be nice. Just don't go. So she has a screenshot of the text between her and her boyfriend. So her thing says, hey, my friend changed the restaurant and reservation time. It's 9:30 at blank restaurant. The boyfriend responded, what's blank restaurant? How far is that? Jesus, 9:30? That's a late dinner. OP said it's in blank location with the crying emoji. Yeah, I know, it's because our other friend doesn't get off of work until 8:30. Boyfriend responded, really, WTF? Why do you guys need to go to places that are so far? OP responds, I don't know, it's what my best friend wants. Crying face emoji. And then there's another picture. He said, yeah, like we're not going to get home until 12. OP said, I'm sorry. Boyfriend said, like, it really is a bit ridiculous. How does no one see this? I'm not that much older and think that much differently. OP said, my friends don't think like that though. I mean, we're all still in our early 20s and stuff, and they want to do stuff like that. If you don't want to go anymore, it's okay. The boyfriend said, would you rather not have me go then so you can just be out later with them then? OP, no, I want you to go. The boyfriend, I don't know, with what you just said to me, just makes me feel that way now. Bro, like, OP says, I feel like you don't really want to go since it's so late, with like a bunch of like Emoji, sad emoji, crying face emoji. The boyfriend said, of course I wouldn't want it to be that late. Eat dinner past 9:30. I'm sorry, but I don't like what you said to me. This fool. Opie said, I know I don't like it either, but I don't really have a say since it's for my best friend. I'm sorry. It just seemed like you didn't want to go anymore with what you said. Boyfriend said, I don't like the way you're talking to me about it. You're making it seem like you don't want me to go anymore because it is late for me and you would rather have me stay so you can be out longer without me and not have to worry about me. I mean, is that an issue? You clearly don't want to be out late. I'm saying, okay, cool. You don't have to come. I'm trying to make it easier on you because you clearly don't want to be out late. But now it's a problem because I'm trying to make the situation better for you. Pick a side, bro. She said, that's not what I'm saying at all, babe. I'm sorry it's coming across that way. And then the boyfriend said, well, it is coming across that way and I don't know how to feel about it. Boy, if you don't get over it. Anyway, so some of the comments, someone said, I would also react that way if someone proposed that I eat dinner at 9:30 far away from my home. OP responded, I don't disagree with his reaction. It was just the fact that I told him he didn't have to come and he got upset at me for even saying that. And then someone else was saying that he disregarded your intended purpose of trying to accommodate him. And another commenter responded and said, accommodate him how exactly? Nothing he wants is in any way being considered in that conversation, nor is anything by her friends about her either. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not his birthday. He got invited pretty much out of a courtesy. So of course we're not why would I be trying to accommodate him? Why would anyone be trying to accommodate him? He's not even a primary relationship in this little dinner. He's a secondary relationship. You just got invited because of who you know for real. Why are we even thinking about accommodating him? Anyway, this person responded to another part of the comment that was saying 9:30 is a late dinner, but Jesus, either don't go or eat a snack earlier in the evening and then order something lighter at the dinner. And this person responded to that and said, conversely, if the only reason it is being held so late is because one friend is working late, which is what the OP said, and not even the birthday girl, why can't they meet at 8:30? He can have dinner while the others have drinks and then leave earlier. Why make accommodations for the friend but not him? I know if I was a 22 male who had to work, I would have told my friends to start without me and I'll join when I'm done with work, especially if it's going to run late, because I would want to be accommodating to others attending the event and not putting someone in a crappy spot to then call them a child if they don't like the shit sandwich that is being served to them. And again, what I think this person is not understanding is that OP's boyfriend is a secondary relationship in this whole equation. He really has no say. If the birthday girl don't mind eating at 9:30, OP don't mind eating at 9:30, and their third friend don't mind eating at 9:30, that's really all that matters. We're not worried about boyfriend. We don't care if boyfriend don't want to eat at 9:30. Don't come. So all this riff-raff nonsense, well, why, if he gets off at 8:30, why not eat at 8:30? Would that even really make a difference? Because I'm sure the boyfriend would have something to complain about with that too. So then the whole group is moving things around to accommodate the boyfriend? Is that what you're trying to say they should do? That don't make sense. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, this person continues to say, the truth is on some spectrum of the boyfriend is finding excuses to not go to her friends. There's some grammar issues here. I'm not exactly sure how to read this, but it says her friends do not care at all about the boyfriend and plan things without trying to accommodate him. Of course, because he's not part of the friend group. Anyway, we cannot know for sure where on the spectrum it lies on the whole, but for this specific interaction, it is clearly in the not accommodating the boyfriend at all basket while making accommodations for others in the group. And again, because the boyfriend is a secondary relationship in this group. He's not being taken into consideration because he doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to go. They probably could not care less if he doesn't go. So no, we're not going to be accommodating him. They're going to tell him the time. If he wants to go, he can. If he cannot, that's fine. Why are we trying to accommodate him? Everyone else is okay with it. OP responded, the only reason why our 22 male friend is being, quote, accommodated for is because everyone else is riding together since he doesn't own a car. Someone else, is this on a weekend or during the work week? In either case, go have fun with your friends. It's a birthday party. If he has hard limits on being out late, he can just say no thank you without blaming you for tone. OP responded, it's during the weekend, LMFAO. I don't know why he's making it so weird. It's not like he's going to be doing anything anyway. Right. Someone else, not overreacting. 9:30 dinner is annoying. I'm used to eating late, being Cuban and such, but I know it's definitely not the vibe for a lot of other people, especially if you have work the next day. But the freaking gaslighting and emotional manipulation is wild. This dude needs to chill. He should have just said, that's too late for me. You go on ahead. Let them know I said happy birthday, but I have to get up early tomorrow, so I can't be out that late. And that's it. Simple as that. This man is throwing a whole bitch fit for nothing, just to make you feel like crap and emotionally manipulate you into staying home with him. Exactly. That's what I was looking for. Emotional manipulation. That's what it was. Thus starts the cycle of alienating you from your friends little by little. It's a playbook. Nip it in the bud now or it's going to come back again. OP responded, I'm Brazilian. Late dinners and even lunches are somewhat normal for me. And I understand that's not the vibe for other people, which is valid. But this dinner is literally on a Saturday night. Saturday. That's low-key a pregame for real. Have dinner 9:30, get a couple drinks, go out. Like, and again, how old is she? 23. Yeah. He tripping. Someone said, stop inviting him, LMAO. She's your friend, not his. OP responded, my friend wanted him to come as well. So 3 days later, hey everyone, I just wanted to thank you all for your comments. It really opened my eyes and saw what he was doing is not right. After work today, I came back home and we started talking about everything again. I told him how I felt about what happened and it kicked off. He kept saying that I don't want him there because I kept asking him if he would still like to come, even after him saying it was too expensive for him and that I was annoying him. I tried explaining that I was just making sure after everything he was saying, and I guess he didn't like that because he said I ruined his day. LOL, okay, diva. But that's when I realized everyone's comments about what he's doing. It clicked to me that he is trying to manipulate me. He just kept going off saying the same thing and trying to make me feel bad about it. He said, how thick is your skull, woman? Why is this not getting through your head? Yeah, nah. Woman? Oh, really? How thick is my skull? Okay. She said, I just sat there in complete shock because that is actually ridiculous. You were complaining so much about it. What did you want me to do? He then said he can't take this anymore and that he was over me, told me to pack up my stuff and leave. Anyway, the TLDR is he was still trying to manipulate me in person, then broke up with me and kicked me out. Don't worry, divas, I'm still going to go on Saturday and have the time of my life with my best friends. That's insane. So maybe he was trying to do a constructive breakup. Like maybe he was trying to manipulate this situation to where it would come to a head like this, like make an argument out of thin air so that she could be, maybe she could break up with him first or something. Either way, like, good on you, sis. What the heck? How thick is your skull, woman, is crazy. And there's no updates, but the last thing it shows is that they broke up. Thank God. All right, so the palate cleanser that we're going to do today is from the Petty Revenge subreddit. It says, I got revenge on a school bully by pretending to not know him. This happened about a year ago, but I watched some Smosh Reddit stories and remembered this and decided to share. So for context, I went to a Catholic school with a friend who is a trans man. I'll call him Dave. We were really close friends and I'm really proud of him. He was going through a lot of other crap that I won't get into here, but just know that he had a rough time, but he was still a great friend and is doing great now in a university for art. At the time, Dave was openly trans and went by he, him pronouns and a new name. Unfortunately, everyone knew him before his transition and his old name, so some people gave him shit for it. There was this guy, I'll call him Brad, who used to bully him a lot and be transphobic. Brad never bullied me that much, but he was really awful to my trans friend by misgendering him and just generally saying really awful things. So imagine my surprise when me and my family went to Greg's, a bakery in the UK, and Brad was there behind the counter. I'm not usually a petty person, but when he struck up a conversation with me, I decided that I wasn't going to be polite and give this a-hole any kind of energy, and instead just pretended not to know him. He said, "Oh, hey, OP, you all right?" And I just said, "Sorry, do I know you?" Brad tries to explain that he knows me from school, but I just give him a weird look and say, "Sorry, I have no idea who you are." My parents and my sister are right there just watching me do this, turning away to hold back laughter. I guess they caught on that I was doing this on purpose. The last thing he says before I leave with my muffin is, awkward. Afterwards, my family asked who that was, and I explained who he was and what he did, and they laughed their asses off. Honestly, I think that's the only revenge I've ever done, but man, it felt good to humiliate that a-hole. What is it with bullies thinking they can just talk to you like they weren't complete a-holes to you? Like, I get people can change, but what makes them think I even want to talk to them when all I remember about them is them being a complete a-hole? Nah, for real. You know, that's one thing I take pride in, being nice to everyone. When I was in high school, I was nice to everyone. I was like opposite of a bully, if anything. Anyways, that does it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.